Happy anniversary to me and this podcast. It's episode 17. It's Hairly Relatable, the podcast. I am your host, Nicole, your relatable hairstylist, 24 years licensed, and 1 year doing a podcast, which I knew nothing about. No clue how to edit a podcast, no clue how to turn on a Mac computer, no clue how to use a microphone, no clue how to navigate wires, headphones, and any of this. And yet, a year later, I have prevailed into 17 episodes, 2 guest spots on podcasts, and a whirlwind of emotions and memories. And I have my notebook, which started it all, and actually a new notebook, which I'm writing in more manifestations and just ideas to bring me into the next season of Hairly Relatable the podcast. So welcome. And for those of you who have stuck around for all 17 episodes plus 2 guest spots, I appreciate you. And today it's going to be just a recap of this past year. And I think that this episode is going to be what happened? Where did the time go? So it's just been a journey. And honestly, I think that the biggest growth for me has been time management, as it's been for so many people in this industry. It's the balance of work life. And as you all know, I am behind the chair 5 days a week at beautiful Revenge Salon in Westwood, New Jersey. And what I speak about on this podcast, I have to always throw in a disclaimer, doesn't necessarily reflect the views, policies, or opinions of the salon that I am currently employed at. And, I tend to behave myself on this podcast. I do have furthermore opinions and stuff, but I'm going to keep it pretty sound because, well, my goal isn't to piss people off. And I went a little deeper on last episode saying about bad reviews and how they help motivate the haters. And you're always going to get negative feedback. And that's just part of the game. And you know what? There's always going to be an imposter syndrome. And, this past year, right, I've really come into my own as who I want to be as this brand, Hairly Relatable, your relatable hairstylist. I've been so many versions of Nicole over the past 23 years. I started at another salon, 23 years old in Westwood. So that's not even including the time that I was in hair school or the other salon that I worked at as an intern. So who was I then? I don't really remember. It was probably one of those assistants that GenX was young, going out till 9 a.m. and going to work with my makeup on and my wristband on the next day. Still probably intoxicated from the night before because that's what we did. We didn't call out. We never called out. I still don't call out. I still have not called out. Knock on wood, in 4.5, almost 5 years in January. I take days off. I do, but I don't call out and knock on wood. I'm pretty good. I have a knock on wood, a pretty good immune system. I'm not jinxing myself. But the fact of the matter is all of these versions, are they just branded and rebranded of another stylist that's out here doing the same thing right now? What makes it organic anymore? It's already been done. I probably did it. I probably played out that version of me 20 years ago. I wasn't really goth. I wasn't really emo. I'm edgy, okay, for what, a 40-something-year-old woman? Sure, I carry edge. Look, I put some feathers in my hair, and it's wigged out right now, and I'm digging it. And it's also shorter. We went mid-length. There is extensions in here too, but I've changed my look 1,000 times. I did colors. I've been every kind of style over the past 20 something years. But again, it's all relatable because of who I have been, the persona that I've created of who Nicole really is. So I think it's been a growth journey of who Hairly Relatable has become. It's me. I'm the drama. I'm who brings the energy. And it's not even bad drama. Drama could be good. Drama is fun. Drama is charismatic. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. So, how did we get here? And what have we learned? We learn that you create your own reality and you create your own branding, and that's part of the thing is who you are now. And yeah, probably it's been done before, and I see all these Instagrams of all these personas of these up and coming baby stylists, and maybe they are 10 years ago or 10 years in the making. And I was just telling somebody too, it's all these layers of all these lives that I've lived and who I've become and what led me here. And my goodness, I have a personal Instagram for those of you who are on it, or those of you who don't know. And sometimes I tap into it, and it's a lot more of my dancing, which I've led a little bit of into this like personal world of mine. But dancing has been a journey of mine as an adult for about 7, 8 years now, and it's really been my outlet. I dance contemporary heels. I've just taken up belly dancing, which is such a blast. I just adore it. I've taken commercial pop. I've been in showcases and to put the costumes on and the hair and the like, just change who I am for the night and just step onto a stage and perform. That's what we're doing. It's like we're wearing these masks as a person, as a persona, and that's kind of who we are sometimes. In real life, we wear all these masks. And what I keep saying is like, I'm the same Nicole who is behind the chair every day, that is behind the chair, that's behind the dance class, that's taking the same classes. It's so much energy now in this point of my life, who I've become, to like keep putting these different character roles on. And yes, I'm the mom, I'm the wife, I'm the friend, I'm the party girl, but like at the core, I am still who I am. And it's really what you see is what you got. And that's like the authentic, relatable, down to the core person who is passionate and loving, wears their heart on their sleeve, and is going to give you their all and always going to be all in. And I hate conflict, so that's also another thing. I can be mean if I need to, but I choose not to usually. So that's really it. That's pretty much who I've grown into as a person. So again, it's all of these personas that have been popping up, and it's like I've tapped into so many of them over the past 20 something years, and even as a hairstylist, but even like well before that, I love that, like with dance, the whole like rave culture. I keep seeing that coming back, and I've never not been on a dance floor, and I still like go out. I think I've dropped a couple pictures too on my Instagram, and dancing at a club and just feeling the music too has just been one of my like favorite things to do. It keeps me whole. Music and the connection just is really one of those pockets of release of emotion and just escape for me. And it keeps my mental clarity, and it's something that like me and my hubs can do together, and really part of my like ritual of just love language. And but for reals, it's been such a journey. And you know what I've also learned this year is that I can do hard things. Like I said, from a girl who didn't know how to use a computer, didn't know how to turn on the Mac, was scared of that. Like, comes way, like my shit's never charged. My microphone is like a hot mess with the wiring. My headphones are still cracked from the vacation I took, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna record a podcast on vacation. Yeah, okay. Okay, Nick. Computer not charged. No, it's not working. I was gonna like go on it. Screen completely fingerprinted and, no case on it. No. I took my ring light home because we were doing an event, and I'll get into that as well. But now my ring light stand is kaput. Everything I seem to touch just kind of turns to havoc outside of doing hair, which is funny because it's like, I think I move too fast for my own good. And it's when I'm in that controlled environment, I'm slowed down. And I've really definitely learned to slow down. And with that, like, we can do hard things. It's like I really had to slow down to learn how to process doing the editing and to put this all together. And I've been squeezing some episodes of recording in before I have to fly out to work. And I mean, is that the best way to navigate our time management? No, probably not really, but we're hairstylists, we're creative minds, and we'll make it work, right? So for us to keep checking the time, oh yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. I'm gonna look for parking and hope for the best. But I got the episode in, and all is well. Season 2 is going to be even better than this one. I'm going to stay more consistent, and I'm going to have more ideas. So going back to we could do hard things, I pushed myself to a limit, past a limit in my own head this past weekend. And it was an idea that was executed that I couldn't have pulled off without my coworkers. So shout out to Stephanie for that, helping me all 3 days. But we did a vendor event for the first time for a carnival at my son's school, and it was a success. It was 3 days of hair extensions, feathers, and that's also why I'm like rocking the feathers in my hair. Deborah Mannequin had made an appearance with her hair and stars. She's actually over here. I should go get her. But Miss Deborah Mannequin made an appearance this past weekend at the fair, at the carnival. We did hair extensions, hair tinsel, and talk about like resilience in the moment. So, your girl ordered hair tinsel in bulk, and when it came in like the loopy loop. So it was very messy. And the first night we didn't have really good lighting. So they were just getting strand out, and we were clamping them, and like some of, it's really hard to work on hair that's not structurally sound. So it's like putting the bead in, and everything was beaded. These were not eye tips, they were just loose. So today's actually October 8th. Happy 1 year anniversary. I guess things don't work out to work out. It is the actual anniversary of Hairly Relatable, and Riverside did me dirty. The audio recorded, the video did not, for the podcast that is airing right now. So I cut it. This is part 2. I said basically, as Deborah Mannequin made her appearance, about the hair tinsel that we did at the carnival. And I kind of just went into the end of the episode, and I guess all's well that ends well. I basically was talking about the resilience of we could do hard things, and what a journey this year has been. And as a creator, I've learned a lot of lessons. I've learned that you're not always on. There's going to be like a lot of highs and lows to your journey. And I give so much respect to the creators that are like always on. They always seem to be putting out content. They always have ideas. They always are posting on every single platform. They're always relevant, and all hours of the day, night. I'm not on my phone like that. I don't even text people back as much as I used to anymore. It's not only like my eyes getting, my phone's going crazy because like this wasn't planned that I was going to be recording right now. So now there's like distractions on distractions. And that's the other thing where like I'm utterly and completely distracted by like a text message or anything that's going on in my everyday life. So that can also have pulled me away from like the creative process. But just even in the lows of like not being inspired by anything, the outside, or just having to take social media breaks, like I had said in previous podcasts, that there's just so much heaviness out there that you really do have to stay in your creative energy to do this and to put really content that is valuable. And that's the other thing, is that when I created this brand of Hairly Relatable and this podcast, is that I wanted to add value, and I wanted to be knowledgeable in my craft of the beauty industry and knowledgeable to my listeners, that I had something to offer them. So I hope that I relayed that in the past year too, with a little bit of insight to not only myself as my personal experiences, but as a generalized beauty industry hairstylist would. So with that said too, I'm always thinking about the next steps. I'm always thinking about what I can do next beyond the chair, always in the chair as the moment presents itself with my clients. But I'm never not thinking about work, and it's probably a little bit of a sickness as well. But I'm so like in love with what I do, and it's a hustle, but it's also just it's a passion of mine. And I guess that's what being invested in your career and your industry is. And I'm grateful that I have hit these levels, that my ideas are flowing. So it's all great. It's always like the next big thing. And although sometimes it's not lucrative, and I'm, taking a hit or putting my own energy and finance portion into it, that's where you have to think like, okay, it's time, effort. But that's what I think that makes this for me worth it, is because it's my ultimate return on investment. And doing this podcast again is part of that journey. And even though like I'm not a 10K follower, and I'm not a verified account, and I don't have that following to get monetized, or I don't have the time to be posting the content to get monetized, it's still a fulfilling journey. And for the people who are listening, and my clients who are small town USA in Westwood, New Jersey, saying that like, wow, you have a podcast, that's great. I listen, I tune in. Or even the people who are afar that say, wow, this girl from New Jersey is really something else. Maybe one day I will get picked up by a bigger company, and they'll say, oh my gosh, this girl from New Jersey, she's really something else. And we like her relatability, and she's a Gen X behind the chair. She really has something that we see fit and special in her. And like I said, I just want to be putting more tinsel and feathers in people's hair and making them smile. And that's my goal of the rest of the year. And I appreciate everybody for listening to Hairly Relatable. Riverside, you better have the video and audio on this one, because I do not have time to re-record this episode 17, Hairly Relatable. And that season 2 will be better, bigger, guest are coming on. We're doing it. I'm going to figure that one out too. We can do hard things, stay resilient, stay hairly relatable, and I will see you in the next season. Thanks for tuning in. Share, like, comment, and book an appointment behind the chair because, again, that is where the magic happens. Thanks, everyone. I gotta go re-edit all of this now. It would be a tech issue on my last episode of the season, but that's okay. That's how we roll. Bye. We've come a long way.